Hi. Okay, so today we are going to be reading another picture book called Seven Blind Mice, and this story also shows how different people can be facing the same problem or looking at the same thing and see something completely different. So it's another illustration of perspectives, how people can have different perspectives about really the same thing. So, Seven Blind Mice by Ed Young. Here we go. Seven Blind Mice. One day, seven blind mice were surprised to find a strange something by their pond. "What is it?" they cried, and they all ran home. On Monday, Red Mouse went first to find out. "It's a pillar," he said. No one believed him. So he went and he saw just the foot, right? And he says it's a pillar, which is like a column or almost like a small tower that's part of a building. On Tuesday, Green Mouse set out. He was the second to go. And you can see the part that he is seeing, right? He's not seeing the leg, he's seeing the trunk. He's not really seeing it, but he's feeling it. They're all blind. "It's a snake," he said. So, is he wrong? I mean, the trunk is not like a pillar. "No," said Yellow Mouse on Wednesday. "It's a spear." He was the third in turn, so he was the third to go. So he found the tusk, right? He checked out the tusk and he decided it was like a spear, which is true for what he experienced. Just like the trunk being like a snake is true for what the Green Mouse experienced. So the fourth was Purple Mouse. He went on Thursday and he saw on the elephant's head. You can see him up there. "It's a great cliff," he said. So all of their experiences have validity, they have truth to them, and yet they're all different. Orange Mouse went on Friday, the fifth to go, and he is finding a different part again, right? It looks like the ear. "It's a fan," he cried. "I felt it move." Well, an elephant's ear is rather like a fan. The sixth to go was Blue Mouse. And what has the Blue Mouse found? Looks like he's found the tail. He went on Saturday and said, "It's nothing but a rope." But the others didn't agree. They began to argue. A snake, a rope, a fan, a cliff, until on Sunday, White Mouse, the seventh mouse, went to the pond. When she came upon the something, she ran up one side and she ran down the other. She ran across the top and from end to end. So she is doing something differently. She is not just finding a piece and returning so quickly, right? She, or he, she, it, is trying to find out the big picture, looking out all over the mouse. "Ah," said White Mouse, "now I see. The something is as sturdy as a pillar, supple as a snake, wide as a cliff, sharp as a spear, breezy as a fan, stringy as a rope, but all together, the something is an elephant." And when the other mice ran up one side and down the other across the something from end to end, they agreed. Now they saw too. The mouse moral. So this book actually tells you the moral, and moral is pretty much the same as the theme, okay? Knowing in part may make a fine tale, but wisdom comes from seeing the whole. So have you ever experienced that where you and another person maybe, or two other people have been in an event, the same thing happened and they were both involved, but they remember it differently? Maybe they're even arguing about what happened and who said what, and it's part of human nature, and it also tells us something about how people have different perspectives. People see the world differently. People take events and think of them differently. So I think it's interesting, and I think it also is an important part of author's purpose, because when you are reading something, you don't always just want to believe whatever the author wants you to believe. I think you want to be able to think critically about where the author is coming from. Think about whether or not they're telling you the whole story. Are they just presenting one side? Are they just trying to get you to see it the way they see it? Or are they giving you a broader picture? And so perspective is important. Perspective can keep you from getting tricked and deceived.